Okay, we'll start. Singapore is smaller than the smallest U.S. state of Rhode Island. Delaware, Connecticut, New Jersey, New Hampshire. That's just telling me my perception of Hawaii must be very off because I thought it was smaller than New Jersey, but it's bigger than Massachusetts. Here's Hawaii. Okay, larger than I thought. I know Hawaii is made up of 100 plus islands aside from those big 7, but I thought the islands were very small. Wow. Maybe the map just doesn't do it justice for me. Belgium is bigger than Hawaii, smaller than Maryland. Switzerland is bigger than Maryland, smaller than West Virginia. South Carolina. Just by the graphic, if they would have rotated Austria, I could have believed it was closer in size to Maine. But if you see the numbers here, it's not much bigger than South Carolina. I always forget about Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee. Okay, so Portugal is bigger than Tennessee, smaller than Virginia. Smaller than Virginia, it definitely is, but if looking at the numbers here, Portugal, kilometers squared, it says 92,000, I believe that's a 656. To the left, Tennessee has 109,153 kilometers squared. So maybe it's a typo. It should go Portugal, Tennessee, Virginia. Ohio. I didn't realize how many of these states have such straight lines. I say before Louisiana, which has none. Alabama. Arkansas. What's that? Wow, Cuba is very long and smaller than North Carolina. New York State, Iowa. Illinois is bigger than I thought. Georgia, the peach state. Wisconsin, the cheese state. Uruguay. Uruguay is massive. I think this is another one that the map doesn't do justice because you look at the map of South America, Uruguay is next to Brazil, huge country, and Argentina, huge country, which makes it look so small. Yet it's bigger than Wisconsin and still smaller than Florida, which is crazy. Missouri, Oklahoma, North Dakota is a near perfect square. Washington, Nebraska, Kansas is huge. Idaho, okay, Utah. Minnesota. So the UK is larger than Minnesota, smaller than Michigan. To be fair, the UK is 4 countries together. But for perspective, those 4 countries put together are still smaller than Michigan, yet had one of the largest empires in history. Wyoming, the least populated state. I wish I knew more fun facts about these states. Oregon, they've got the last blockbuster. Colorado is a more perfect square. Nevada. We're getting into the hot states now. Nevada, Arizona. New Mexico. Italy. Wow. Italy is comparable to the size of Montana? 160. Again, you know what's throwing me off is that for the states, it goes miles square, then square kilometer, but for the countries, it goes kilometers first, then miles. But looking at Italy, it's 116,347 miles, and New Mexico is 121,000 something miles squared. So it should go Italy, New Mexico, Montana. I went to Montana once. It was very cold. California, 4th largest GDP in the world. Spain's larger than California. Also, California's flipped upside down here. The piece that should be touching Mexico is at the top, and then that straight border with Oregon's at the bottom. Big Bertha, Texas. I'm trying to think what else is left. That's a big jump between Texas and Iran. Wow. Iran's huge. I was just about to say something else about Iran being huge until I saw Alaska peeking out. How many islands does Alaska have? Okay, I'm going to link this video in the description so you can watch it without my commentary. I may have to watch it one more time to look at some of those numbers again. But Texas, hold on, let me find it. The largest state in the contiguous US, 268,596 miles squared, or 695,662 square kilometers, which is massive. But I've been sleeping on the size of Alaska because, wow. Between that and all of its territories, the United States is undeniably large by landmass. And then each state is so different with its own cultures, laws, attitudes, of course, accents. Personally, from the States, I like a Boston accent. It's rare that I get to hear it out in the wild, but when I do, they quickly remind me why it's in my top 2 favorite accent. It goes Geordie, Boston. Also, between the scale of the states and the way that some of the cities are planned, what is considered far quickly becomes relative over there, especially if you're from a bigger city. You just kind of get comfortable with longer distances. Actually, if you've lived in the States, how long is your commute? And what do you consider far? Also, if you can think of another country comparison that should have been added, let me know what it is. Other than that, leave your thoughts. We'll go with something broad today, music from around the world. So drop your song choices, of course, any genre, any language. I'm going to start with a group from the United States. They're called the Alalas. And the song is called Tell Me What's on Your Mind. They're from LA. And I would call this alternative rock music. I was actually recommended this band years ago by some friends from Port Elizabeth, South Africa. So I think the Alalas are fairly popular, and I believe they're still together. I'll have to check. But my second choice is Simande and their song Dove. This song is beautiful, all 10 minutes of it. I believe they're out of London. If you like guitar or drums, listen to this song. And if it sounds familiar, Dove was sampled by Wu-Tang and the Fugees at different times. They make soul, some songs are tropical, Afro-Caribbean funk. I would call a few of them jazzy as well. So of all the 3 songs I'm recommending today, I would say that this is my top choice. Also, number 3 is Part-Time, Soñando de Ti. And this song is in Spanish, although I found out years later that the band is actually from San Francisco. They make lo-fi new age rock. So those are my 3 choices. I'm looking forward to seeing your music choices. This is quickly becoming my favorite segment and my favorite way to find new music. So I appreciate everybody who drops song recommendations. And that's all from me. Thank you for watching with me. I'll see you next time.